We gave the Army its just due, but now we saved the best for last. We're gonna bring in a guy, a good friend of the show. It's a great story. It's a Hollywood. It's a story made for Hollywood. He went to Absegami High School. He was in the Ocean City Beach Patrol. Local guy makes good. Let's welcome into the locker room, Mike Heron. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Billy, big day today. Man, I'm glad you got that song right with the Naval Academy. Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Anchors away, brother.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm great. Thanks, Billy.
Now, Mike, are you down at the game today?
I'm heading down to the game. You got it. Yep.
All right, Mike Heron, a little background. I just mentioned it. You went to Absegami High School, played football.
Loved it. Yep.
On the Ocean City Beach Patrol.
Yes,
Spent your summers in Ocean City surfing, buying your stuff at Surfer Supplies, right? Going to see Greg.
Always.
Bringing back some memories.
Yeah.
But what I love about you, Mike, obviously we're friends, but I love your story, and it's worth repeating over and over again. Talk about like a undersized, like you're like Annapolis's version of Rudy. Tell us a little bit about some of the adversity that you had to overcome pursuing your dream to play in football at Annapolis.
Well, it's the biggest part of it is just that I got told no a number of times, and for anybody out there that's facing adversity, realize that's going to happen a lot, and you just have to face it and do your best. But head coach told me no. I tried to come on to the team, and he said no, we don't need you.
Now, Mike, hold on, Mike. How much did you weigh your freshman year?
I checked in as a plebe around 190, and then after a plebe summer, I went down to like 175. By the time I was trying out, like a cold tryout for walk-ons, they just said, no, we don't need anybody else with your size and speed. So, so I wound up playing lightweight football. My brother was an all-conference offensive lineman for the 150 football team. They called it 150s in the day. Now it's called sprint football because the weight then was 158 maximum, and then now the weight is 175. But I played fullback, and it's really a great program, a great league, and very tough because everybody's really quick, so they call it sprint football now.
But you had your eye on the big prize.
You got it, brother. So I always knew I was going to be able to play at Division I level. I just didn't know how, but I was going to play for Navy. So fast forwarding in that to the end of the season, after starting as a fullback and my brother starting as a center, which was cool. We were both in the same huddle. It was great. And I was a blocking fullback. But right then, after the season, my plan was to gain the weight back, which I did. It was about 40 pounds, and honestly, within a couple of months. And I started to work out with the agility drills with Coach Belichick in the gym.
Wow!
He couldn't disinvite you. You weren't allowed to not allow people to come. Like, so I could just drop. I dropped in. I was in the back, and Belichick was yelling at everybody, saying, "Pick up your knees. You look like my grandmother." So I was like offended by that because, hey, I'm an athlete, man. And so later on, as I kept going to these drills and these sessions, I was like, I don't think he's talking to me anymore. I think I'm doing all right. So I started to believe in myself more and more, and we got to the spring football season, which is the same plebe year, and he gave me a chance to. I interviewed with the coach 3 times, and each time he said no. The third time I said, Coach, you don't understand. It was Coach Gary Tranquil. I said, I've been to every one of your sprinting sessions with Coach Belichick, every one of your weightlifting sessions with Coach Muschietti. I said, I'm coming out for your team. And after the third no, and I stepped forward and said that, he said, okay. And I got 3 tackles in the spring football game. There happened to be the last 3 plays of the spring football game. And he barely put me in, Billy.
Now, we're talking with Mike Heron, a former Navy defensive back. Now, tell us what really got their attention, Mike, because this is a great story. Who'd you knock out? You were told not to hit him, but you hit him anyway.
Yeah, well, it was a butt-up drill, and anybody that played football knows that you're supposed to butt people up, wrap them, and just not tackle them. So Matt McCallum was all-purpose leading rusher. He was a great running back, like a Gale Sayers, very smooth. He went on to play for the Oakland Raiders, scored 3 touchdowns in the playoff. Right. Great athlete. And so he came off tackle one play, and I just jacked him up. I did my best at the time, and honestly, it was a skeleton drill, but I hit him. I said, hey, I'm from South Jersey, and I'm a little guy, and he's like an All-American on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Right, pretty boy.
He should be able to juke me. He should be able to juke me even in a skeleton drill. So I hit him and backed him up a little bit in the backfield. The head coach yelled at me. At the end of that practice, because I always like to run, so I ran the sprints at the end. I took him seriously. I'm going to win every sprint because I want to play. So I would hit people, and I would hit the offensive linemen that were pulling. And that's, I think, the biggest thing that they saw was that I was not afraid of anybody. I wasn't slouching or bowing down from anybody. And I would win the sprints. I had endurance. So the special teams coach, Bill Stewart, who went on to become a head coach at West Virginia, he said, son, he put his arm around me as I was walking off the field, that same practice that I hit McCallum. And he said, son, you're in the next game. And I was like, what? I'm ninth? Billy, I was ninth on the depth chart. There's no position, roverback, strong safety. There was no position that had more than 5 deep. So I was the dead last person on the team. They put me as the starting blocker for Nat McCallum in the front line. I did that for 3 years, blocking for all the, just hitting people. I just loved it.
So now, Mike, you ended up starting your whole senior year. Is that correct? As a defensive back?
I did. Yeah, I actually the beginning of the season, Curtis Irby was the starting strong safety, and he got injured. He's a great player. He got injured, so I next man up, just like the coach teaches now. Coach Niamantalola is a great man. He teaches, hey, you got to be ready. So I was readier than ever, and I just jumped in and I played the whole senior
and it was
season.
And it's history from there. And I'm telling you, they should make a movie out of your story, Mike.
Well, I'm just grateful that, honestly, Billy, if somebody believed in me. I was envisioning myself, but there's nobody goes in it alone. Whether it's also the people that are serving, Billy. Just jump into the real story is the players. Every one of them. Army, Navy, they're going to be officers. They're going to lead. They have to care about people. They have to take them through tough situations, and they have to really love what they're doing. They're like student athletes forever, when they're in the military. It's great.
We're talking with Mike Heron, South Jersey's own. He played football at Annapolis and Navy, and what a storied rivalry we're getting ready for today. You played in it. We talked with I had an interview with General Pete Dawkins, the 1958 Heisman Trophy winner. Earlier, we played that. We talked with former Army quarterback Chad Jenkins, and to a man, everybody you talk to. All you guys say the same thing. It's about the brotherhood. It's about the brotherhood. It's about the relationships that you create and the leadership of men.
It sure is. And when you see the offensive line on both teams, you got to give them great credit. I saw Army play against Michigan, and they won every play, in my view, except for the last 3 plays. But they fought so hard, and I think we're going to, this is going to be a great game because the 2 offensive lines and the defenses are going to be just out for full out to make it happen. But that's definite. But the reality is these guys are going to be like Malcolm Perry. He's going to be a Marine Corps officer. You see in his eyes, that he's ready to be a part of a great team, and he knows that he's a good athlete, but he also respects his teammates so great, because if they don't do their job today, then nobody's going to win any games. Nobody's going to get any yards because they're all counting on each other, just like in the military.
Now, Mike, what did you do? What was your role in the Navy after your playing days? You were a pilot, right? Or was that your brother? My brother was a Navy pilot. He served on the USS Enterprise for 2 tours. He's a combat pilot. Wow.
I actually served in the same exact type of plane called an EA-60 Prowler, which is an electronic attack
that's what I thought it was.
Jamming plane. So it was basically
you jam their signals, right?
Jam signals, shoot missiles at signals So the
and you land on an Mike. You land on an aircraft carrier, right?
No, my brother John did.
Okay, John did.
All the Marine Corps and Navy pilots have to land on carriers. And the navigators, they're required to do it in the simulator and to land on, and just go through it and make sure you're aware to support. But we did not. My squadron did not have to go on a carrier when I was in, but they did after I got out of the my squadron. But yeah, so it was great. I was a navigator for 1,000 accident-free hours, so I'm thankful for that. There's always some scary times, and that's where composure comes in on the athletic field. and composure comes in your professional life. So this is real stuff. It's real tangible
Absolutely.
skills that you learn in sports and in academics and these leadership academies. So proud of being a part of it.
Mike, I got to tell you, we're friends, but I really appreciate, admire you and the things that you've done for not only Army, Navy football, for our country. Navy leads this series 60-52. 60 wins, 52 losses, the 7 ties. It's the 120th meeting. You're going to be there today. Listen, Mike, I really appreciate you taking time to spend with us, and you're a great friend of the show. Thank you so much, and go Navy, beat Army.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the family members out there that are supporting veterans, including my own mom out there and my brothers and sisters that, hey, you don't do it because nobody's out there by themselves. There's always a support network, just like this team, and I'm really grateful for the families out there that have sacrificed the ultimate. And thanks for allowing me to be on, Billy.
Hey, Mike, you're a great American. Love you, brother, and I'll talk to you soon.
Right on.
All right, there's Mike Heron, former Navy defensive back.